Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A featured article of merchandise sold at a loss in order to draw customers. A person who rules or guides or inspires others. A featured article of merchandise sold at a loss in order to draw customers. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. A featured article of merchandise sold at a loss in order to draw customers. A prominent attribute or aspect of something. The map showed roads and other features. The principal, full-length film in a program at a movie theater. The feature tonight is Casablanca. Linguistics. A distinctive characteristic of a linguistic unit that serves to distinguish it from other units of the same kind. Have as a feature. This restaurant features the most famous chefs in France. A special or prominent article in a newspaper or magazine. They ran a feature on retirement planning. Wear or display in an ostentatious or proud manner. The characteristic parts of a person's face, eyes and nose and mouth and chin. An expression of pleasure crossed his features. An article of merchandise that is displayed or advertised more than other articles. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. A human being. A human being. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. An enthusiastic and vocal supporter. He has become a cheerleader for therapeutic cloning. Someone who leads the cheers by spectators at a sporting event. A person who is in charge. The head of a tribe or clan. A person who exercises control over workers. Most important element. The chief aim of living. The leader of a group of people. The head of a tribe or clan. Ancient Greece, leader of a group or festival. Leader of a chorus. A leader in municipal affairs. A leader in municipal affairs. An officer in the Air Force. An officer in command of a military unit. A commissioned naval officer who ranks above a lieutenant commander and below a captain. Someone in an official position of authority who can command or control others. A person who is part mortal and part God. A person with great powers and abilities. Leader. A person or firm that employs workers. Father is a term of address for priests in some churches, especially the Roman Catholic Church or the Orthodox Catholic Church. Padre is frequently used in the military. A male parent, also used as a term of address to your father. His father was born in Atlanta. Christianity. Any of about 70 theologians in the period from the 2nd to the 7th century whose writing established and confirmed official church doctrine. In the Roman Catholic Church, some were later declared saints and became doctor of the Church. The best-known Latin Church fathers are Ambrose, Augustine, Gregory the Great, and Jerome. Those who wrote in Greek include Athanasius, Basil, Gregory Nazianzen, and John Chrysostom. The founder of a family. Keep the faith of our forefathers. Make offspring by reproduction. John fathered 4 daughters. The head of an organized crime family. God when considered as the first person in the Trinity. A person who founds or establishes some institution. George Washington is the father of his country. A person who holds an important or distinguished position in some organization. The Tennis Fathers ruled in her favor. A leader and organizer and spokesman, especially a political leader. A fugleman for the radical right. A skilled worker who coats iron or steel with zinc. A leader who stimulates and excites people to action. A skilled worker who coats iron or steel with zinc. A leader who stimulates and excites people to action. Use as a guide. They had the lights to guide on. Be a guiding or motivating force or drive. Take somebody somewhere. Something that offers basic information or instruction. Someone employed to conduct others. Someone who can find paths through unexplored territory. Pass over, across, or through. A model or standard for making comparisons. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. A structure or marking that serves to direct the motion or positioning of something. Someone who shows the way by leading or advising. A Hindu or Buddhist religious leader and spiritual teacher. A recognized leader in some field or of some movement. A guru of genomics. Each of the first 10 leaders of the Sikh religion. Computer science. A tiny electromagnetic coil and metal pole used to write and read magnetic patterns on a disk. Be in charge of. Who is heading this project? A person who is in charge. The head of the whole operation. That which is responsible for one's thoughts, feelings, and conscious brain functions. The seat of the faculty of reason. I couldn't get his words out of my head. Be the first or leading member of a group and excel. This student heads the class. The educator who has executive authority for a school. The upper part of the human body, or the front part of the body in animals, contains the face and brains. He stuck his head out the window. Travel in front of. Go in advance of others. The procession was headed by John. The part in the front or nearest the viewer. He was at the head of the column. A line of text serving to indicate what the passage below it is about. The heading seemed to have little to do with the text. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. A difficult juncture. Matters came to a head yesterday. Forward movement. The ship made little headway against the gale. Oral stimulation of the genitals. They say he gives good head. A dense cluster of flowers or foliage. A head of cauliflower. The subject matter at issue. Under the head of minor Roman poets. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. The source of water from which a stream arises. They tracked him back toward the head of the stream. A natural elevation, especially a rocky one that jets out into the sea. Grammar, the word in a grammatical constituent that plays the same grammatical role as the whole constituent. A membrane that is stretched taut over a drum. An individual person. Tickets are $5 per head. A projection out from one end. The head of the nail. A rounded compact mass. The head of a comet. A single domestic animal. 200 head of cattle. A user of, usually soft, drugs. The office was full of secret heads. Be in the front of or on top of. The list was headed by the name of the president. Form a head or come or grow to a head. The wheat headed early this year. Nautical. A toilet on board a boat or ship. Remove the head of. Head the fish. Take its rise. These rivers head from a mountain range in the Himalayas. That part of a skeletal muscle that is away from the bone that it moves. The foam or froth that accumulates at the top when you pour an effervescent liquid into a container. The beer had a large head of foam. The front of a military formation or procession. The head of the column advanced boldly. The length or height based on the size of a human or animal head. He is 2 heads taller than his little sister. The pressure exerted by a fluid. A head of steam. The rounded end of a bone that fits into a rounded cavity in another bone to form a joint. The head of the humerus. The striking part of a tool. The head of the hammer. The tip of an abscess, where the pus accumulates. The top of something. The head of the stairs. To go or travel towards. Where is she heading? Usually plural, the obverse side of a coin that usually bears the representation of a person's head. Call heads or tails. The head of a tribe or clan. An executioner who beheads the condemned person. A large sandwich made of a long crusty roll split lengthwise and filled with meats and cheese, and tomato and onion and lettuce and condiments. Different names are used in different sections of the United States. Greek mathematician and inventor who devised a way to determine the area of a triangle and who described various mechanical devices, 1st century. Someone who fights for a cause. A man distinguished by exceptional courage and nobility and strength. RAF pilots were the heroes of the Battle of Britain. Classical mythology. A being of great strength and courage celebrated for bold exploits, often the offspring of a mortal and a god. Greek mythology. Priestess of Aphrodite who killed herself when her lover Leander drowned while trying to swim the Hellespont to see her. The principal character in a play or movie or novel or poem. One of greater rank or station or quality. Islam. The man who leads prayers in a mosque. For Shiites, an imam is a recognized authority on Islamic theology and law and a spiritual guide.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.